What is going on, true believers? Guys, have you ever had lightning strike by your house? And have you ever seen like the charred remains of what used to be, I don't know, whatever it was? Anyway, the pole was replaced. I have power again. Everything is better. But sure was hot yesterday. Ugh. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great morning. Bitcoin having a little bit of a rebound. We're not at a level yet where we can start to get super excited or anything like that. Fear and greed index came back down into the range where I said it's a must buy. So I think that people are starting to they've got that sense, they've got that fear, but this is the spot where normally we get some kind of rally. So I think that we're about to get a rally. Solana, speaking of which, had its rally yesterday. Price-wise, not exactly, but total volume from wallets, et cetera, suddenly all-time high in the number of wallets attached to the Solana ecosystem. Pavel Durov is now out of prison, jail, whatever. Do you know he was going to meet, he was in France to meet with Emmanuel Macron, which is wild considering the fact that as soon as he gets there, he gets arrested. Talk about a bait and switch. Hey, do you guys have over $100 million in crypto? You don't? Why are you crying about Kamala Harris and this unrealized gains tax if you don't have over 100 million? Like, why are you doing, guys, why are you doing billionaires bidding? Why are you complaining about something that applies to billionaires? In the hopes that maybe you'll become a billionaire? Okay, I mean, fair enough. And if you become a billionaire, do you not want to pay 25% tax? I understand. But stop doing work for the billionaires. Stop being sheeped and misled by people. This applies to people with $100 million in assets or more. So here, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stay around the 10 to 20 million range. Is that fair enough? And then I don't have to worry about it at all. And if I get a 5X, I'm going to cash out at a 4X. Fair enough? So I only have 80 million instead of 100 million. Like, Jesus Christ, what are you crying about? Anyway, we're gonna break that down. We're gonna break all of this down. GDP, we're gonna get the revision today. So what's that gonna do for the market? I don't know, but we're gonna find out. Anyway, not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleed. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, let's break it down a little something. I hope you guys are having a good day. I really do. I'm going to show you what's going on as best I can in this market. If you like this type of content, make sure the best things you can do to help me out, hit that like button. That's all you got to do. Hit that like button. Doesn't have poison on it. I mean, it might, depending on what you do with your phone. I'm not here to judge. You put that phone wherever you want to put. I mean, it vibrates after all, right? Don't hate prostate. I don't know. I was making rhymes here. Just making rhymes. I don't know. It doesn't mean anything. I didn't know. If you did it, you did it. If you didn't, I'm not asking. I'm not telling. Matter of fact, I won't tell anybody if you tell me. Don't send me a message if you did, by the way. That's kind of gross. But also send me a message because that would actually be pretty funny. All right. So let's check out where we are in the market. Let's go over a couple of different things that I've done. For those of you that remember the other day, I had entered a few positions. I changed the layout here on the video just a little bit so you can see, I think, in my opinion, so you can see it just a little bit better. So let's kick it off with Luna Classic. As you can see here, I took a position right here at 82.50. It got filled. Let me do this on the 30-minute chart here. It got filled somewhere in this range, like last night. Even dipped down, as you can see right here, around midnight, something like that. Like that was that was yesterday. I got in right around here. I want to say somewhere it got filled around 9 o'clock last night. Now, by the way, remember, I only had like $30 here. So first of all, just so you guys know, with Weeks, I had you guys signing up because there's trading. By the way, there's deposits and everything you can do on Weeks if you want to continue to do trading there. They've upgraded and enhanced their system, but from the trading volume that I had, I had like, $7 the other day. So what we did was I went long on Luna Classic. I got a nice little rip off of it, so it turned into $26. So what did I do? Now I have $26 in there, and I got into Luna Classic at 82.50. And what ended up happening from there? It's now ripping, and it's up. What is this? 37% right now. Unrealized P&L at this point is $9.68. I'm gonna let that cook for a little while. My liquidation point right here is 77.82. So there is a possibility of it coming down into the 77.82 range, which is down here. So things could always get worse, but for me, it's only $26. Worth the risk here. I only went 15x, so it's not a huge leverage position or anything like that. But also, I want to show you where I put my take profit in. And the reason that I did this, I set up a take profit on it. The reason that I set it up the way that I did was because I saw this. I saw some of the stuff that was going on in the Luna Classic community right now with the Terra, the Terra bridge has been reopened. So if you have Terra Luna Classic wrapped with BNB or wrapped with Ethereum, you can now move it into the Cosmos ecosystem. You can go to, I think it's Terra-Classic, Terra-bridge.classic.terra.money, something like that. I'll find it for you. So I set a take profit here at oh, maybe I didn't. Son of a bitch. All right, well, I was going to. I thought I had set a take profit here at like 3/20 is what I was going to do, because I get a general sense here that I think Luna Classic is about to have a breakout, and we're going to get. I think we're going to go up to 9 again, like we did a couple days ago. I think we're going to have a nice little rip today, have a good explosive sort of move. And then we might see a continuation of it. So if we do, then we're turning $30 into $500. If that happens, who gives a shit, right? It's just money. So anyway, I'm into that position right there. So in the event that we get some kind of really cool move out of Luna Classic, then who knows what'll happen. So there we have that. Now on to my long on Bitcoin. You can see right here, 857 is the margin, and I'm up $250 on it right now to 20. It's a 29% profit margin. I'm not even considering getting out of this yet. I'm holding on to it, waiting for it to get back over 65. I wanted to see it get up into that 68,000 range. So for the same thing here, I said I'd take profit at 68,000 because I think that's a fair enough move. And in the event that were to happen, it'd be a profit of 1,308. Now, what will happen at 68,000? I will sell, and then, well, actually, you could click here and reverse my position. So my most likely play out in the event we get a surge to 68 is for me to reverse that position and let it cook a little bit from there. Just an idea. So I don't know whether I will or not, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to reduce this just a tiny bit there. Sorry about that, guys. Did my best. Anyway, so let's talk about the rest of the market right now. So you can see those are my longs. And by the way, I have another long I don't want to show you because it's like $20 or something like that. I think it might be like the same thing. If you guys remember, we were doing business with Fairdesk for a while, so I got the same thing going on over here on Fairdesk. I set up a 15x instead of a 10x on Bitcoin. It's up 58% right now, so it's only up $21. But originally, this was the same thing. We're just, you get nickels and dimes, if you will, coming in. So $37. We're up, we put 37 in. It's worth about $60 right now. Again, we're going to let that ride. I took the take profit over here at 68. And if it were to crack into that 68, the estimated profit being like $94. And then, just let's see if I can turn that into something more. You know what I mean? And we'll keep doing that until we lose it. You know what I'm saying? Like if each one of these wins, then yay. If we lose it, it's found money anyway. I don't give a shit, So there we go. So let's kick off what we need to know about the day. Explosive rally, which we're witnessing happening, by the way, and playing out as we speak right now. Is it explosive? Nah, it's we're about $50 billion on the day. We'd like to see it up $100 billion on the day, but here we are. The market is starting to we're getting a little bit of a green candle, but let's you know what? God damn it. Let's try that. All right. So you can see here, this is what the day looks like so far. We got that doji candle on the bottom, which is a signifier of what is probably a big move. You got bulls and bears kind of fighting it out right now. And you got this big doji candle, which is usually a sign of a correction coming. And then we got a big candle going green after that. So now let's go check it and see what the GDP growth rate is. And let's see if we got any news about it, because we should get the information. Yeah. There we go. U.S. economic growth for the last quarter is revised up to a solid 3% annual rate. Now, originally, the estimate was 2.8%, and it was going to be revised, which was the initial estimate was 2.3. The estimate on the revision was 2.8. So that was the idea here, but it came in at 3.0, which means that the economy was doing a bit better than we were before. Now, why is that happening right now? I think the answer is very simple. If you guys have noticed, gas prices are getting lower and lower and lower just in time for the election. Wink, wink. Kind of weird that happens that way, but here we are. So we got a nice move off of gas prices coming down around me, and I'm in a hotbed. I've got an Exxon it's an Exxon refinery and a BP refinery, and each one of them, oh no, as soon as the gas prices, as soon as oil prices come down, everything breaks in their facilities and they have to go offline for a little while. Wink, wink, wink. So it makes me a little bit nervous to in this region, but gas is under $3 in, like, yesterday I filled up it for 303. But then right after I got that, I saw it for 289. So now we're getting these dips in gas prices. And the reason for a lot, and let's say a lot of people are talking about, and I've said it before, and I'm not 100% right on this, but a lot of people have said that, we were lied to by all of these companies about what the market would bear. And the reason that we said that is because that's what they said. Okay. So prices are up. Walmart says prices are about to come down. They've even announced it to their investors that prices are about to come down. They found the price points that they like, if you will. And, from there, blah, blah, blah. So what it looks like now is that we're starting to see it come down from oil prices. If the oil prices come down, the gas prices come down. If the gas prices come down, transportation costs come down. If transportation costs comes down, then you can start putting things on sale. It costs, and it used to cost you, like, for a 12 pack of Coca-Cola. When I was growing up, it was about $2.50 for a 12 pack of Coca-Cola. Today, up until a couple years ago, it was $2.50, maybe $3 or $3.50. Like, that's not a huge increase for a long period of time. Now all of a sudden it's like $9 for a 12 pack, but they go on sale constantly for like $3.99. Well, they just went on sale where I am for under $3 for 12 packs for a limited time only. And when you see stuff like that, then you know that what they're doing is they're trying to keep the general cost high, and they're giving you these sales because the sales are what motivates you to come in, right? Well, little pieces like that, if you see things like that happening, then you know that that's probably an indicator that prices are about to start to decline a little bit. And I got eggs yesterday for $1.99 for a dozen eggs. So And that's been a while, usually about 299. So starting to see prices come down, right? Well, that means that the GDP is probably in a better place. And this is where you can start doing rate cuts. So here we are about to clear the rate cut hurdle in this market. Now, does this fix everything? No, it does not. This does not fix everything. There's still a long litany of, and there is price gouging. Look, I'm sure there's price gouging, but now we're starting to get a little bit of a better sense of some positivity. So we'll see whether or not this translates into something really good. But overall market cap up about 45 billion. It was at 50 billion just a second ago. So there'll be a little bit of a retracement because, you know, America doing America stuff. So let's look at the news and let's continue on this explosive rally. If this explosive rally plays out the way that I think it's going to play out, that's the question. If it plays out this way, we're going to be looking again at that 68,000 Bitcoin very, very soon. And then after we get that 68,000 Bitcoin, then it's going to be time to sell the farm and short that back down to, you know, 63 maybe. We've got this channel that formed. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for it to come up in here, and we're looking to get into this little area of 68,000 up here. And then we would possibly have that correction back down into the 61 range. Guys, imagine how well you do if you take this, you know, just for example, we put $857 in right around here. We get a run up here to about 1,300 more profit. Now we're taking 2,100 down this way on a short. So if that were to play out perfectly, suddenly that long we're taking. And by the way, what I'm trying to do at this point is like, let's just see how far I can take each one of these exchanges. By the way, KCEX is the primary exchange right here. KCEX is the primary exchange, right? That's the one that I've been using for a little while. It's a non-KYC, but CoinW approached me and 2Bit. I would appreciate if you guys would sign up to those and start trading today. That would help me out tremendously. And by the way, I'm giving you I'm giving you the magical signal, right? I'm giving you the magical signal right now. Fear and Greed Index is at 29. If the Fear and Greed Index is at 29, then what does that mean? That means it's time for you to go long and to buy something, right? So go sign up for CoinW or 2Bit today and just go long, put 50 bucks in, do something like that. Go long. And by the way, you get a reward when you sign up and you fund your account. So they're going to give you like $5-10. The more you put in, the better off you're going to be. But go long on something and let's see if we're right. If you have 50 bucks or so to risk. If you have 500, do it. If you have 1,000, do it. Do it large, bro. And let's see what happens, right? Let's just see what happens. So in the meantime, back to the matter at hand. The biggest thing right now, crypto markets are poised for a resurgence. And by the way, I'm going to give you conflicting data today because there's multiple different conflicting things that you are seeing happen right now. So let's go through just a couple of these little crazy things, right? So first of all, crypto markets poised for a resurgence as the Fed signals the looming rate cuts. Now, we got the data today to say, you know what, it's time for a rate cut. So I would expect or suspect that in 20 days, we're going to be announcing a Fed rate cut of 25 basis points. Now, whether it's 50 basis points or 75 basis points, you know, I don't think that's in the cards right now. I think they're going to be very conservative about it. And just a rate cut in itself will have a big impact. And why will it have a big impact? Well, that's a signal, and this is going to be the first real sign. Well, the first real sign was when we stopped raising rates. The second sign is when we start a reversal process. And what does that do? It lets risk on assets, the people who want to put in their money, it lets those risk on assets people know, hey, the market is getting safer and safer and safer for you. By the way, make sure you hit that like button on the way in. If you don't hit it, you might be trans or something. I don't know. I mean, pick some stupid hot button topic, and that's what you are if you don't hit the like button. So if this market does what it's supposed to do, then liquidity will start to come back into the market, and we'll start to see this flow of capital that we haven't seen in a while start to come back in. And if they're able to continue, and let's just imagine, for example, if we get a 25 basis point rate cut, and then we get another Fed meeting, and there's a reason for another a 25 basis. Well, now you're starting to see a lot of capital coming into the market. People got their money on the sidelines. And by the way, when I say people have their money on the sidelines, I'm not kidding, because we're in a record phase right now. And this record phase is, look at this, there is $118 billion in Tether sitting there right now. And if we were to look over here at market cap on Tether, and by the way, Tether just means that this money at some point is coming into the market. And look what's happening on the 7-day. We're stair-stepping up. We're putting more and more money is coming into crypto. It's not going into crypto projects. It's coming in here because people are wanting to buy something. When you look at it on the 1 month, it gets even more crazy, right? It was 114 billion. Now it's 118 billion. So $4 billion in stablecoin has been issued and minted in Tether in the last month. What do you think is going to happen? Like, they're not putting it here just to hold on to USDT. They're going to deploy this into something. And the question is, when are they going to do it? You know what I mean? Like, that's the question. When are they going to do it? And what's it going to go to? So more and more is being printed right now. Look at over 1 year. Over 1 year, it's absolutely bonkers. This was 82 billion exactly 1 year ago. It's 118 billion today. Okay, the money is coming back into the market, and they're waiting for some kind of signal or something. And then when it happens, guess what? The whole market starts to rip. The whole market starts to rip. But you know what? Here's the thing. It's not limited to Tether. If you come down to USDC and you look at USDC the same way. Now, remember, USDC had a nice run before the Silicon Valley Bank. I think that was the one that collapsed, and it had money in it. But it's got a $34 billion market cap. And you look at it over the month, it was down to 32 billion over here. Now, again, it's at 34. If you look at it on a 1 year, then look at this. This was down here in the 26 billion, and now it's continuing to come up. So every stable coin is starting to accumulate. That money is going to be deployed into this market at some point. Not all of it, but some of it is going to be deployed into this market. And those numbers are going to go back down to the numbers from a year ago. So you're going to have like 30 or $40 billion put into risk on asset instead of the stable coin. You're going to see that happen. And then all of a sudden, the price of everything is just going to start to skyrocket. Now, the other thing is, we're about to get into the spot where the liquidity grab happens. Now, what is a liquidity grab? I mean, you guys should know at this point, what is the market getting ready to do? Tax refund time in the United States. When tax refund happens in the United States, what is the market looking to do? It's looking to get you into this project or that project or whatever project, even Bitcoin, whatever it is, because they want to use you as exit liquidity. And if they can do that, oh yeah, baby, that's going to send these markets into the stratosphere. Taking your money, that's what they do. That's their entire goal. Like, when you break it down, that's what's happening. So all of this money is coming into this market, and that's where we're probably going to see this absolutely crazy move. Now, there was $170 million in liquidations over the last 48 hours. Bitcoin was down to 59. Now, remember, I added to my long at 62,002. So I'm looking for that to continue making its way up there. So on Tuesday, QCP Capital emphasized that any dip in equities and crypto is likely going to be short-lived as the Fed stands ready to kickstart a rate-cutting cycle. So increased liquidity will push risk asset higher. We are finally on the cusp of the rate-cutting cycle. That's what everybody's excited about. So are we going to have a problem here? I don't think so. However, I'm going to complicate it for you in just a moment, because before we do that, Australia is buying a lot of Bitcoin. And the Australians' two spot Bitcoin ETFs, one from VanEck and the other one from Monochrome, have continued accumulating Bitcoin since launching earlier this year. The sustained inflow highlights growing Bitcoin demand in the region. VanEck debuted on June 20th, and it has attracted 40 million inflows since then. Monochrome has done 7.4, so about 48 million in inflows on these, and they continue to accumulate because they're getting positive results. And each one of their ETFs continue to have good inflows, while we have some trouble on some days. Now, generally speaking, we have billions of inflow overall on Bitcoin, but you see this reactionary move where you get a little bit of sell off every few days, buying and selling the dips. You know what I mean? So generally good, but Australia, they don't care. They seem to be green almost every day. And that's happening real time. So we'll keep you updated on something like that. In the meantime, Solana hits a yearly high of 2.3 million daily active users on August 28th. Now, that is the biggest number for Solana in a long time. Well, you might be asking yourself, well, where's the money? If we have so many people trading on Solana, why is it not pumping absolutely all of these cryptos? Why are they not exploding? There's a simple reason for that. Jump trading. I keep telling you guys, jump crypto trading, they are the bad actor in this space. Now, they've created Fire Dancer on the Solana ecosystem, but they pulled out their money and they sold off all their Ethereum. They're continuing to dump on the charts. They're continuing to dump on the markets. They're now the bad actor in this space. Remember, Kanav Korea disappeared. He was gone. Soon as they got a CFTC notice of an intent for a lawsuit and an investigation, he was like, yo, I'm out. So, yeah, something's wrong over there. And that's probably why they're taking their money out. But Solana still getting a lot of daily active users, which is a good thing ultimately. And if that continues, then we're going to see a big pump on Solana one more time. And then the Solana ecosystem meme coins. Speaking of Solana ecosystem meme coins, did you guys buy any of CoinsChicks coin? Because if you did, you're goated. If you didn't, what is wrong with you? Like, is there something broken in your brain? By the way, Saitama, if you're a Saitama fan and you bought Saitama on Sol, there's no value to it right now because they are moving it into a new contract. So if you haven't already, I'm not even tracking it, by the way. I don't have it on my little tracker anymore because there's no money there. But what they're doing is they're doing a swap, and then they're pulling the liquidity as they get the tokens from people. And you know what? Let's take a quick look at it. Maybe we'll see. Saitama. See, it's down right here. It's down to three. It's down to $11,000 in liquidity. So we've gotten 40,000 out of it so far. And you can see here that there's just like continued sell off, going down. What they're doing is they're swapping the tokens so that they can launch this new contract. Tom, pretty good guy. So they're going to launch that new contract, and guess what? Saitama will end up pumping again. Now, will it pump up to an all-time high again? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't really know the answer to that, but I think people will be excited about it. And I think once they get excited about it, then we'll see, some kind of move here. Now, the circulating supply, instead of 70.99 million, I think it's going to be like 100 million. So getting to a penny, it'll be a little bit more rounded. So I think we're going to see a big pump off of it, but I don't know how much it's going to pump. So maybe it do good, maybe it don't do good. But I think that they really want to start something new and fresh. So, we'll see what happens, but buy some Solana memes and get ready, because something I think is going to happen. Now, let's talk about what's going to happen with Bitcoin, because we got there's conflicting views. We just had a resurgence is getting ready to happen in September. However, if you talk to another place, and this says Crypto Briefing from Bitfinex. Bitfinex thinks that the market is going to dip. And why do they think the market is going to dip? Because the trend that was observed is this: crypto market pattern shows consistent dips before US election, followed by potential rallies. Now, if we were to take a day chart and go back here, and when was the rally? November. When was our last election? November 2020, right? So if we were to go back here and we were to look at this from November of 2020, all right, there we go. All right, so this is what happens. And by the way, I don't agree with them. because let's go look at this, okay? So here was the last bull run, okay? So, and the same thing is happening over here. Now, what happened over here is we got a little dip right immediately after the halving. Then we started to rip over here. Then we got up to $12,000 Bitcoin. Then we got this dump. This was the August dump. Here, and by the way, there's some symmetry to this, okay? August was a bad month and it dipped quite a bit. And then the next thing you know, September starts to move. We get closer to the election. Within 30 days of the election, explosive move all the way up until the election. And then Joe Biden wins, and then it just explodes from there and continues to explode and continues to explode and continues to explode through the bull run, right? And I know some of you are just too MAGA to even comprehend it, but Joe Biden gets elected and this thing goes absolutely parabolic. Now, why is that? How would Joe Biden cause it to go parabolic? Because it has nothing to do with politics. How far it goes has to do with politics. In the event that, let's just say Donald Trump would have won a second term, maybe this would have been slightly more parabolic because he would free up money. Like he'll wreck the economy just to give you more money in your pocket. And I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way. It will wreck the economy if you're printing money and shit like that, which we've already seen, right? But he would do that to take care of you, right? And then you put your money into the market. So it would have pumped, I think, a lot harder if Donald Trump was the guy. But let's go back and let's look to the time that basket of deplorables came into play. And that was in 2016, right? So basket of deplorables happens, and you guys are the deplorables, by the way. Did you know that you're the deplorables? Did you know that we're all the deplorables, right? Now, here we go. Right after this is the halving, right? And then right after the halving, we got the big dump. We get the big dump, right? And then all of a sudden, we get this sideways action through August, right? And then what happens at the end of August? September happens, and then boom, we get a boom in September. So boom in September this month, probably. Then we get sideways action through September. Then we get into October, and what happens as we get closer to the election? We got basket of deplorables. We got James Comey. Was it James Comey or I don't remember what his goddamn name is, but James the FBI guy who said Hillary's under investigation. So then Donald Trump wins, right? And then it doesn't pump nearly as much in December, right? Because, and by the way, just to remember here, Donald Trump didn't have a big fan club then, right? He hadn't really done anything other than he was a game show host who had bankrupted 6 companies, and he was an entertainer. He was an entertainer. Okay. Now at this point, we understand this entertainer starts to come in, and then he starts to change things. So you see here, Donald Trump does his little thing, and then boom, as he gets nominated, because people were still kind of bad, right? It dumps dramatically. However, what happens right after? Gigantic pump. Did Trump have anything to do with that pump? Probably not. As a matter of fact, all these dips are probably just crazy Trump news cycles. But then ultimately, let's look at ultimately what happens. Every dip is followed by an incredible rip. A dip, an incredible rip, and dip, an incredible rip, and then boom, we get up here at almost $20,000 Bitcoin. So by proxy, once people started to see Trump giving money to people, guess what happened? The market goes crazy. So that's what's happening every single time. Now, what these people said was that there's going to be a dip. Well, if you come back over here and let's hit R, and then let's look at what's happening from the halving period. Now, the halving period, I've drawn on this goddamn chart so much that, but here we are right here. This is the halving. What do we see? We saw a dip. Then what do we see? We saw another dip. So how much dip did we get? We got 20% every single time. So what happened right here? 22%. So the market has now dipped. The market has now dipped to a level that it previously did every single time. So do we have another dip coming? Yes, of course we have another dip coming. There's always going to be dips, but is it going to be lower than these dips? Is this descending channel done, or can it come down even more? Now, I don't think that it will, but I was wrong about it the last time, because I told you guys up here, we probably aren't going to go down below 52,000 again, right? And what do? We wicked all the way down to 49,000. So, I don't know shit, but I got my 52,000, this orange line right here. And that's the line that I think, we're not going to dip down below that, surely. And of course, what do? We wicked all the way down there because the market wants what the market wants. And what does the market want? Liquidity. Now, what happens in September? And here we are 2 days away from September. And what's the candle going to look like on the monthly, by the way? This candle on the monthly, boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to highlight just this right here. And we're going to close, most likely, at this point, a red candle. So what does that mean? Now, by the way, we could see a rip a little bit early. We could see like one of those just magical sort of days, because you've seen just radical moves. We could actually close a positive green month if, but I don't think so. I think we're going to be down just a little bit. But again, we could close a positive month, and then September seems like it's a big rally month. Now, when we were to look at that over the long term, there is a chart. We're going to use the market RSI, and we're going to look at data. All right, here we go. Bitcoin return percentages, and we're going to do this by monthly returns. Okay, so here we are. This is what it looks like for Bitcoin by month. You can see here, last August, we were down 11.5. We were down 13.8, and we've had 8 of one is 1, 2. Let's just get rid of that. The average gain in August is 1.98%. The median is minus 6.69. However, it's been negative over here because we had 1, 2, 3 kind of negative months. September has not been kind, but look at October. Look at October. October has been just a fantastic time, and so has November, but November is predicated by this 449% increase in 2013. I don't think that that's a big one, right? And when you go back and you look, remember, we got John Doe here says Trump equals investor confidence. Well, Trump equals investor confidence. Trump got elected in 2016, and the market only went up 5%, as opposed to what it should have done, which was investor confidence should have sent it soaring to the moon. And guess what happened? It did not. It only went up 5%. Now, when Barack Obama was in charge, 19%, 12%, 449%. Trump is in charge, and we get 5%. Then we get a nice little 53%. Then we get a negative 36 and a negative 17. Nobody gives a shit about Donald Trump. Like, that's not a thing. That's a thing. That's a thing for MAGA to pretend. It's not about the president. It doesn't matter. It just does not matter, because then Joe Biden gets elected, and what happens? It goes up 43% in 1 month. Now, does that make any sense to you? It shouldn't make any sense. It should make no sense whatsoever. And the reason is because it doesn't matter. It's just a rally to get to the presidency and the change and stuff like that. Now after that, all of it can change, because again, if you see Donald Trump doing some good stuff as president, or even if you see Kamala Harris doing something good as president, as long as you're adding liquidity into the market, that's all that matters. How high it goes up does predicate some of that. But, generally speaking, Trump only goes up a few percentage here, and then boom, look at this. We get 30% rip. Then we get a bad January. Sometimes January is bad, not normally, but sometimes bad. Then we get 23% in February, -9 in March, but March always historically bad. But then we get a really good run. This is a Trump run right here. Up 32%, up 52%, up 10%, up 17%, up 65%. If you just held for that period of time, think about the gains that you had. You had almost a 200% gain just in that short period of time. But there's more. You go down 7% over here, and then you get another 150% off of that. You're talking about 350% increase over that period of time. You see what I'm saying? Once that money gets back into the market, and again, it doesn't have to be Donald Trump. It could be Kamala Harris. It could be Joe Biden. It could be anybody. But once you start injecting money into the market, the shit goes crazy, because these are risk-on assets. So it doesn't matter who the president is. But let me phrase it. It does matter who the president is, because long-term, I think Donald Trump makes it pump a lot harder and a lot better. Because remember, he was anti-crypto at that time, and he's pro-crypto now, and no candidate so far has been pro-crypto. So there is always this opportunity here. But remember, the market makers, they hate you. They despise you. You disgust the market makers. They think you are garbage. All of you. Me too. We're all garbage to them. What are they doing? As soon as you think, oh, Donald Trump's getting elected, it's going to go way up. Guess what's going to happen? They're going to dump everything on your head, and we're going to go to 40,000. And you know what you're going to be like? You're going to be, oh, it's going to recover and stuff like that. But it won't matter. It won't matter. You will still get dunked on. It's absolutely out of control, right? And Trailblaw says, please stop being such a liberal nut job. You're embarrassing. No, I'm using numbers. It was only up 5% when he got elected. It was up 43% when Joe Biden got elected. So you can not like it however much you want, but the numbers are still the numbers. Math is still math. And I know it sucks. I know the you take care of the kid. Don't let women do what they want to do. I understand, but there's the numbers right there. I don't make it up. I'm just pointing it out. So here's the deal. It doesn't matter who president is. How far up it goes, probably going to be a beneficial thing. But it's absolutely not about who the president is. Despite pretending, I just assume that people are from Pretendistan at this point, because it doesn't really matter, right? And like, for example, I'll give you the silliest example that you're going to be like, oh yeah, that is kind of right? Like, for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, what are we, 8 years now? For 8 years of Donald Trump, we were told that the media is deceptive. The media is dishonest. The media is not going to do anything good for you. The media is bad. The media is an enemy of the people. The media is blah, 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 right? Kamala Harris said, okay, fine. I won't talk to the media then. And what did MAGA do? Ben Shapiro is losing all 4 foot 2 inches of his mind right now because Kamala Harris is not doing interviews. They hate the fact that she's not doing interviews. Why? Because they want to hear what she has to say policy-wise? No, they can't stand her. They hate her. Nobody's going to change their mind based on Kamala Harris talking to CNN. What do they want? They want gotcha moments. They want little clips of her saying something that they don't like that they can put in context to make it sound like, oh no, she's a big villain, but she's not giving them that. So now they're like, why is she not talking to the media? They don't give a shit whether she talks to the media or not. That's pretend. It's called performative outrage. Did I just reveal something to people? Did I just pull the rug? If I just pulled the rug back and showed the ants on the floor, then my bad. But you don't give a shit about what she says to anybody in the media. You care about her making a mistake so that you can make a video and put it on X so that Elon can say 77% to 9% or whatever, stupid number it is, right? Liberals don't pay attention to X anymore. I can tell you that. They don't give a shit anymore. You know what they do give a shit about, though? Bitcoin, because they have more Bitcoin than Trump people. It's weird, but it's true. Just odd, by the way. And I think it's because of libertarians. So anyway, Bitcoin, was that a horrible truth bomb? Did it hit hard? My bad. Anyway, so now another one is Bitcoin, and this is an absolute reversal of what we've seen right here because that dip is going to be like short-lived. So Bitcoin price in critical range breaks above 61, could test all-time high. Now this, by the way, is coming from Michael Van de Poppe. Michael Van de Poppe. This is a good investment guy, right? And Bitcoin is still acting within this range. A breakout above that resistance zone at 61 is crucial for upward momentum, right? If it happens, party time and a new all-time high test is what he's saying is probably going to happen. So if we get this move that he's looking for, and this is what it's looking like right now, this is where we are in this moment, and this is the area to hold for support a little bit over 60,000. If that happens, and by the way, it's not like a liquidity pocket, and this is a support area. So if this happens, then he's anticipating that we're going to get a big move up here. Now, I don't think it's going to be that high. I think it's going to be 68,000. I think we're going to dump after that, but he's saying that he thinks that we're getting into 73,000 and then we'll be testing the all-time high coming up very soon. So we got a differing opinion about what happened. Now, he highlights that for Bitcoin to regain momentum, it needs to break through the 61,000 resistance level. And then right after that, it would potentially push Bitcoin's price towards the 71,000 mark very, very shortly after that. If Bitcoin manages to break 61,000, it could pave the way for a substantial rally. Analysts believe that such a breakout might set the stage for a new all-time high. On the flip side, if Bitcoin fails to break this level, it may remain within its current range or see a price fall to 56,000. And, I feel like we're probably more likely in that 56,000 range short term than, we'll see whether it does. But in the past, Bitcoin has seen significant rallies towards the end of the year with price increases of 3.9 in September, 28 in October, and the numbers that we just looked at. Those big rallies are probably getting ready to happen. As of now, Bitcoin is trading at 60,331, marking a 0.5% increase. And by the way, at this point, where are we? We're at 60,900. So we're almost at 61,000. So there is a full-on recovery underway, which would be a pretty good sign. Like that's a pretty good thing to see happening in this market at this moment. So let's continue on though, because there's again conflicting data. I think Bitcoin is in for a rally right now. I think that we're getting to the point right now where we're going to get a FOMO buildup for the rate cut. And then when we get to the rate cut, we're going to get a massive dump. And, again, I think we're going to just kind of move up to 68,000 as we get closer and closer and closer to it. And then we're going to get that reversal. And then boom, we'll get a nice little dump. We'll get an opportunity to short. Then we'll flip it back over into a long. Boom. You know what I mean? Now, Toncoin. Let's talk about Toncoin real quick. Pavel Durov has been released and he posted bail. So, the coin has rebounded 6%. Ton is up 6% on the day following the bail. Despite this bail, French court has placed Durov under formal investigation and restricted his ability to leave France. This development followed his earlier release from police custody and transfer to the court where he got bailed. Now, I don't know where you fall on I'm a absolute freedom maxi, because if you are, then shout out to you. That's libertarian principle, and everybody is looking for their quote unquote freedom. Now, this is a platform devoted to freedom. That's what Telegram has been about, is a platform devoted towards freedom. Now, why is this a thing? Well, there's a reason for it. And it's a very specific reason. And I'm going to highlight it because this is that uncomfortable truth that seems to miss a lot of people. And by the way, it's gross, okay? It's gross. But some of the allegations leveled by the authorities against Durov include permitting malicious actors to use Telegram. I won't even say what it's for. But yeah, they're using it for very seedy purposes. So, this becomes a question right here of what is freedom? What is it freedom to do all the things that the Trump people for years said was happening at a pizza parlor in Washington, D.C. and stuff like that? Why are they okay with it now if it's on Telegram? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's performative. It's performative outrage. So, yeah, let's and free Durov. And again, freedom, I like the idea of freedom, but you've got to do something to prevent clearly illegal activities. And they didn't do anything for it. They didn't do anything. And that's the argument here. And by the way, this is not an attack on him. This is just apparently the governments have been reaching out to him saying, look, you got to stop this stuff. And he's been like, not my problem. You know what I mean? But he's managing the process. But if he's and here's the thing, if you create something and it just gets thrown out there, like what is the Tornado Cash? Tornado Cash, it was basically a money launderer, right? If you use Tornado Cash and it's your money launderer, that one, I have a problem with him being arrested. He created a program. That program was used in a specific way. I have a problem with that arrest. This one, if they're trying to get Durov to stop some of the illicit activity, and he's just like, not my problem. Well, that's probably not as that's probably not as appropriate as it should be, because there are laws against the abuse of people and stuff like that. So a little different in my mind. I don't know about yours, but Ton rebounding right now. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you here, it is my opinion that Ton is going to take off. Like, I think it's going to absolutely explode at some point very, very soon, because here's the thing, despite my reservations about some of the seedier elements that might have gone on over there, Ton is building, Telegram is building, this entire ecosystem is, in my opinion, set to erupt. Set to absolutely erupt at some point pretty soon. So let's move on though. Monkey shit, MSI. So there's not a whole lot going on, except there's a nice little pump happening, right? They're giving away at 10 million market cap. Top 3 raiders will receive 200 million tokens. And at 20 million market cap, the top 3 raiders will receive 200 million tokens. By the way, 200 million tokens, at this point right now, I want to say it'd be about $300. At 10 million market cap, be about $1,000. And then at 20 million market cap, be about $2,000. So these guys are giving away about 10 grand just for you to get out here and do these shill campaigns and to participate. They're willing to give you a bunch of potentially a bunch of money for putting in the work. MSI is going to shake the space like Shiba Inu once did. And guys, listen, I'm not saying that it will, but I'm saying that it sure looks like it right now. It sure looks like it's going to have just kind of an explosive move. Like today, it's at 4.6 million market cap. It's had, and by the way, when you look at it right here, like it's a long way. It's a long way, but the rest of the market did the same thing. All of the other tokens, there's no change. This is PayPay. We know PayPay at some point is probably going to rip, but guess what? Dumped. Everything did the same thing for the most part, right? That's meme coin based. Rodney's goddamn daddy token is a flat line. Do you see what I'm saying? Like all of these tokens, and by the way, had I want to say that daddy at one point was near 20 million market cap, right? It's now at 400,000 market cap with 87,000 in liquidity. It's basically a flat line, but it's not. We got Ryo in the house. Maybe check out Pog on Sol, CTO by Slingor. Okay, so let's check out Pog here real quick since we're in this market. Is it Poggers from 2 months ago? If it's this one right here, oh God, that's dead. That can't be it. It's got to be something different. POG. Let's try that one more time here. All right, so there's a couple of them. Let's go to, okay, I know what I did. Let's go to Solana. Okay, so the question, I guess, is going to be, which one is it here? Hey, Ryo, which one is it? Because one's called Pog, one's called Pepe Dog, one's called Pog Lana, one's called Proof of Great AI. There's a lot on this right now. If it's the one from 22 days ago with a 796 million market cap, then that's coming down. By the way, when you look at stuff like this, it's coming down because there's no website, there's no X account, there's nothing like that. So if that's the one, that's not going to end very well. That's going to end up being a rug pull at the end, in my opinion. Now, as far as Pog goes over here, there's Pog AI. I'm going to suggest that probably looks like Rodney's token and everybody else's token. Yeah, that looks like the same thing over here. That's, you know what? This has got to be some kind of scam because there's 2 million in liquidity, but a 1.6 million market cap. So, Ryo, let me know which one it is with like a contract address or something like that so I can look at it. But politics is full of performative lying, overpaid idiot. Of course it is. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Over and over and over again. So make sure you check out some MSI because here's the thing. Again, let me go back to this one more time. It looks to me like this thing is going to absolutely send. Okay. It's supported, and that's what matters. We got a huge dip in the market, and that's what matters. And it has a huge amount of liquidity and a nice market cap ratio, which also matters. And who does that matter to? Whales. Whales want to be able to buy and sell and take liquidity from smaller investors to get it to bigger investors. That's how this happens, and that's how it works at its best, right? So this one is already pre-built in as a 4 million market cap that could absolutely explode. And these guys are going to get in under 50 million, or they should be able to get in under 50 million. Now, let's look at it on a more refined basis over here on this chart, because again, it's up about 37% on the day with the monthly. But let's look at this. Here's what we got so far. We got the engulfing candle that happened over here, which ate up about 2 from where it closed all the way up to where it closed the day before. We got 2 candles right there closing above that, which is a very bullish indicator. We got this nice wick down at the bottom, which means that we had, I think, basically found the floor. That's a pretty good sign. Then we had this big move up. Then we had this sideways action right here, and we got another candle right here, and then another bullish big engulfing candle that's covering 1, 2, 3 candles right now. These are very bullish indicators right now. The question is really, will the market sustain continued push? Now, if the market sustains a continued push, then we've got this MA right here. And this is, again, this is the green one. So this is that's the 10, that's the 50. Okay, so that's the 50. That was the one. All right, then I would be done with that one. All right, so this right here is 5 zeros 29. 5 zeros 29 is where it's going to end up here over the next couple days. Now this is probably going to come down a little bit. It'll slowly start to move this way. So maybe it's like 5 zeros 25 or something like that. But that's the area which I think is probably going to be the next target. And the question would be, will it close above? If it closes above and we get a breakout, then that's where we start to talk about that all-time high being hit one more time. If it doesn't, then it could fall back down and it could end up being around this area of support yet one more time. So, it takes the market being positive. Now, again, here's where we sit right now. Fear and greed index is about 29, which means that we've got some room to grow. We've shaken a bunch of people out. That's why the fear and greed is so low. So if it flips positive and we get positive motivation as we move into September and the market does what it should do, and not, as long as you're not getting wrecked, I guess is the as long as the market doesn't decide that they're just going to absolutely steal from you. And by the way, that's exactly what they're going to do. So there is a possibility of downward momentum, but right there, it shows you that it is stair-stepping its way up. If it gets just a couple more good candles, I mean, again, here's your big candle over here. Then you get a little sideways action right here, and then you get another big candle right here. This is what happens, right? This is what's happening right here. So if that would continue on, then nice big rally for MSI. So this might be your last call to make yourself a nice bag off of MSI. Now, your last call, I think, really was that last dip a couple days ago, but still could be an opportunity. Now on DevvE, as to DevvE, let's talk about that real quick. If you want to, there is a conversation to be had. Now right here, our token DevvE is the core of our ecosystem. It connects builders, businesses, and people, propelling the creation of real world value and following up on the ESG principles. And by the way, when you the dev token, you got to remember here, dev token right now is part of the Ethereum ecosystem, but it's going to be migrated over to become the basically gas for this ecosystem. And now go to the DevvE weekly roundup with Austin and Davin and go listen to them. I would encourage you to go check this out because it's very important to know exactly what's going on. You got $1 million giveaway happening on the Taunt network right now. Remember, the Taunt is going to launch over on DevvE in the ecosystem. There's some announcements that are getting ready to happen. So they're just kind of preparing you for what comes next. So if you are interested, you should certainly go check that out. There we go. We made it. We made it all the way here with only 5% pump when Trump got elected and 40% pump when Biden. Like, are people? I don't understand that. By the way, I don't understand. I can argue it and I can fight it with people just because it humors me to do so, but I don't really understand that unless it's just market makers just kind of manipulating. You know what I mean? So you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. I can't wait to see people lose their mind over this shit. Anyway, let's we didn't get a chance to really talk about too much on XRP, but I got some XRP stuff coming out pretty soon. So until then, you guys take care. I'm gonna go play with my electricity since I got electricity again. And it's not financial advice. I'm always right. Let's pay some bills. Guys, we're in accumulation phase, and Cryptonomy.finance is the place for you to go in order to stake. You guys have seen what I've staked so far. So what I'm going to do is I have 10,000 XRP, 6 months. Again, wondering what the bull phrase is going to look like. 32% yield off of that. So off of 10,000 XRP, I should have 13,246 XRP when I'm done, minus fees. Boom. We're ready for the bull run. We're going 20,000 into the bronze level. All right, we got $20,000 into this pool. We're in the bronze pool right now. You can see the details of what I've done so far, how much I've earned off of it. My earnings have been just exponential. Why have they been exponential, you might ask yourself? Well, these guys are investing into each one of these launches, and look at some of the results that they're getting. They're picking and choosing the best launches. ZK Sync 4.5x, Ethora 3.5x, Sharp Psi 3.5x, CoinPay's 4.7x. They're looking for real solid projects to invest in, and then they're getting this big yield out of it. So if you want to sign up at Cryptonomy.finance today, and remember, this bull run